One of the most valuable lessons I've learned over the past decade in real estate is how essential it is to learn from the industry professionals. That's why I'm gathering professionals from across the country to share their experiences with you. This is a Gregersen's podcast, where experience and passion come together in the world of real estate. I'm Casey Gregersen, your host, and I'm very excited you're tuning into today's episode. As always, if you have questions for me or any of our guests, please reach out to me at casey@gregersenproperties.com. Now let's get started with today's podcast. What's new with you?
Just taking care of babies, man. Building the real estate team. That's really about it. Taking care of the fam, you know?
Nice, man. How many, do you guys have 3 now? Or?
4.
4 too?
Yeah.
All right. How old's the
1.
4th?
Yeah.
1?
She's 1. I got 2 boys and 2 girls now.
2 and 2. Sweet,
I think
man.
when we first met, we both had 2 maybe. Or maybe you only had 1. How old are yours?
Yeah, 9, 7, 3, and now, and then I just had our 4. We have a 5-month-old.
Yeah, so 9 and 7. Yeah, my oldest is 12. Carter's 12, so I got 12, 10, 8, and 1.
12, 10, 8. Nice. Man. My kids still remember, we always talk about Colt. Colt was on the, when we first came to the house, and you brought him like that little truck. He remembers it. We pulled in on the U-Haul into Midland, and I'm always like, remember Jacobe? He played for Air Force? He always
Nice. That. Well, good. Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
I assume you just continue to manage your own properties. And
I actually don't have any properties anymore. I had 10 properties and then I sold them during COVID. But you can manage your own properties. They have some other rules if you're going to like manage other people's properties. So if you're going to do like property management for other people, there's some other rules that you've got to do. I won't say loopholes, but just a few extra steps you have to take in order to get done. But you can still manage other people's properties too.
But only if as an agent or a broker, right? I couldn't. Or you're saying there's ways to get around it if, just like me, who's not an agent or broker in Texas?
For property management? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah,
that's where
I don't think you can. Yeah. Anything that has to do with real estate or like a commission or getting paid or anything like that, you've got to have a license. That's pretty wild.
So that's been my only one little hurdle. But granted, I'm trying to be more so like you and just stay in one lane. But then again, like I've got a good system now. To your point, just have virtual assistants that manage the property management, and then they just coordinate with the contractors or the boots on the ground. So I've been able to kind of make it.
Are you using virtual assistants?
Not automated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, we do them out of Mexico, and they, man, I taught them how to do my tenant screening. I mean, because I was managing from Houston in Wyoming, managing all my rental properties. I'm like, I could teach. I read 4-Hour Work Week, and I'm like, hey, I could teach a virtual assistant how to do the same thing. And it was during COVID, actually, when everything was locked down. We were stuck in our house. My shell job was like super slow. So I just started teaching them how to do it. And yeah, it works. I mean, it's not flawless, but it definitely, I still have to help them.
I'll just say it like this. The guy I just found recently that does my video stuff has like changed my mind on virtual assistants. Like this dude is so good. It's like ridiculous. Like I've worked with other virtual assistants, and it was a little bit of a hassle, and I'm like, man, you're not going to be able to find anybody to be able to do something as good as you can. But man, there are some good VAs out there.
I'm just curious, how much does you pay him for the video stuff?
It's $6 an hour for full time.
Where's he out of?
The Philippines.
And that's who's doing really. So he actually tell me more about it. So do you just shoot it, record it,
dude,
upload it, and he takes it?
Yeah, we might have to get on my computer sometime, or I'll shoot you some of the documents. Man, actually, here's one of the scripts. He like wrote this script for me. This is for my for one of my YouTube videos. So he like wrote the script out, general tone. I think the take that should be in here is to be honest with the audience and about safety, because I was writing I think this one was about, is it safe to live in Midland or something like that? And then he's got the video structure. It's like community of Midland, Texas. And then he's got some bullet points, self-promotion. Now, before we get to the next point, I just want to let you know that if you need help moving to Texas, you can contact me through blah, like he write the script. Then he put in here violent crimes, talk about that, property crimes, talk about that. And then he put another bullet in here, how to be safe in Midland. So he's got a few bullet points on that. And then he's like at the end, segue to, this video, other video that I've got. And then he tells where he got the inspiration for this video from. So there's a link so I can watch that video. And then he's got like the sources where I just click on the links and I read the stats,
Damn.
And then he's got some reminders in here. So like he'll give me some feedback. He's like, your posture and energy, keep the intro concise, direct to the point, careful of unnecessary objects in your background, open and close each bullet point. At the end, transition to another video, change clothes when you're batch shooting. And he's got some other notes in here too. I won't like read through them, but and then he's like, you need to do a thumbnail. He's like, this is what your thumbnail should look like. So he's like, he's legit.
Damn.
Yeah. So all I do, man, is I record and then I put it in a Google Drive. So like all those videos, literally all I do is like I record and just put them in a folder. And he told me how to set up the camera, everything. I like took a picture of my space, and he literally put little diagrams, put one light here, put one light here, put the camera right here. And he sent me a video with like where to set, like he's like, you want it to look like this guy, and so he sent me the video of the guy who did it. So he's like, when you find, like, the point was, like, I was like, man, all VAs are the same, but they are not the same.
Well, especially that is a steal, man. Because you can find them there, but I feel like they're going to be way more expensive. But
yeah, well, the crazy thing is like, so I actually found them through this company called Sphere Rocket, and they help you like hire VAs. And so I literally talked to, like, they put you in a Zoom room, and they put 10 VAs, and they all interviewed basically. And then they asked them questions, and then I got to ask them questions. And I was like, hey, well, I'm looking at doing videos like this. Can you do this? And they're like, yeah, I can do that. And then they like showed me their portfolio or whatever. And then there were a lot of good people. And then he came in, he actually made a presentation with like my brand. Like he made a presentation and he was the only person that did that. And I think he was either $8 an hour or $10 an hour. And I was like, I've only got a budget for $6 an hour. And the people were like, well, we could try to negotiate with him if you want. And they were like, $6. And he said, yeah.
Wow. How long has he been doing it for you?
Probably since November. So if you go look at my YouTube channel, my real estate YouTube channel for Midland, you could tell I had somebody else doing it, and you'll be able to tell when he started doing it. Yeah, man, he loves it. Like and that's like an awesome pay for him. He's like so excited. He's like got a new computer now. He's got like new programs now. He's like, man, it's awesome.
Sweet, dude. Man, I'm glad you shared that, because we've had a lot of success doing what we're doing in the property management. Even like some cold callers, texters like to do that. But like we've been gone Upwork and some other sites trying to farm out the editing and that stuff. And we had this guy in Canada for like, we're paying like 12 or $13 an hour. And the guy was like part-time.
I can ask my guy if he knows anybody else. So he used to do Upwork and all that stuff. It just, talking to him, it was good because I got to interview multiple people. You know what I mean? And so when I talked to him, he loves, like, he didn't just want to do like projects for people. He wanted to be involved in like a part of the creative process and all that. And so I was just like, dude, I don't want to do any of that crap. Like, all I want to do is just shoot the video, man. And so he was like, okay, well, I can do this, this, and this. And he like, man, I'll have to send you the presentation. Before we were doing like shorts. Now I'm just only doing YouTube, but I was going to do like shorts and like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that. And man, he came up with like 3 different pillars. Like he came up with the whole strategy. We had like 3 different pillars. One of them was like real estate advice. And then the other one was like stuff about myself that's like interesting for myself. And then the other one was like, I was doing that podcast for a while. So we had 3 different buckets that videos had to go in. And so, yeah, he like came up with that whole strategy though. So you just got to find somebody good, and it's like, they'll do it.
And what'd you pay that headhunter to find it? I assume it was somebody to get all those interviews.
That was like, I think you had to pay them $1,000 a month, but you got unlimited VAs. So you didn't have to pay them for like each VA that you wanted to get, you know? So normally I think they have a different model and at that time I was planning on scaling out with VAs. So I thought it was a good idea. I've kind of pivoted from that now, but I think the model is like every VA you have, you like pay like an agency fee and you pay the VA. So it's like, it's really expensive. And supposedly the way they've done it, where you only pay, I can't remember if it was $1,000 a month or what, but you only pay like that $1,000 a month or whatever. So there's no like agency fee and all that stuff.
Man, that's the way to do it. And have you had them do TC at all? Any of your transaction coordination?
No, because I have a TC here. So I have my TC's in North Carolina. She's licensed. And so I just use her for that stuff. And then I've got an assistant in my office. So she does a lot of the TC stuff too. So, but they could do it for sure.
Got it. Yeah, I'd love to, if he's got anybody, because that's the other piece, is he clearly understands it. Like he know, and it must be just because he's watching other people do it.
No, he used to work for like, he's basically like a producer. He used to work for some company in the Philippines, and then he started doing like just regular work, like on Upwork and all that stuff. And then he got tired of he wanted basically like human interaction. He didn't want to be like he didn't want to be like an order taker essentially. But he was telling me, he was like, man, I make as much as I would at like a upper level company here. He's like, I would be basically like the director. So he's making like the same money he would if he was like at a company in the Philippines and like worked his way up.
Yep.
Only thing sucks for him are the
That's
hours.
cool.
So his hours like suck because it's like nighttime and daytime here and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
Man, well, good. That's good. Glad you shared that, man. Because yeah, we're trying to find that piece. For a while there, we didn't have enough content. Now we got a shit ton of it. Now we need somebody to start going and editing and producing it and keeping up with
Yeah.
us. Man, nice. So you think you're going to focus on that? You looking to start to take down more deals yourself, or are you planning to just grow the brokerage?
Yeah, for me right now, I'm just going to grow the team. And then my plan is I was thinking about got a lot of people asking me to do some commercial stuff. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to get into commercial and start, doing some commercial deals. Cause it's like crazy coin doing commercial deals. And so my ultimate goal is to start taking down I want to get into multifamily space. So that's what I'm looking to do. I said I wasn't going to do any more single family stuff, but I literally just got this deal that this guy's talking to me about today. It's like a subject to where literally all I'd have to do is like pay like $5,000, I think, or something like that. And he's going to do it. So it's a pretty good deal. So I'm trying to get into the multifamily space though.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll have to share the underwriting of this one deal. We got this deal in Casper for so that's like the middle of Wyoming. You know what? I compare it more to like mid or Odessa a little bit because it's like definitely blue collar. It's not all 100% oil and gas driven, but definitely a blue collar type of town. But like middle of Wyoming, it's 63 units, and I'm at like almost 50,000. Say with all the repairs, 60,000 a unit for these 2-bedroom, 1-bath that'll rent for like 759. I think they'll go closer to 900 a month. So looks really solid. I'm just trying to, I mean, my biggest one before this one's been a 14 unit, which we did the same concept. They were rented for $600 a month, and it's right next to the university, like freaking block from the stadium. I'm like, this would go for way higher. And yeah, we had to go through the headaches of turning over all those tenants, but we were able to do it pretty quickly. And now it's worth like way more. So yeah, preparing to take down a 63.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you doing a syndication?
Yeah, or I think we're going to use the fund to buy it. This really solidifies the fund because I was going to move in. I've gone back and forth a ton, talked to a ton of different people about it. But ultimately, this first fund moves some of my existing assets into it to where I'll be able to cash out a little bit of my equity. I could still leave in some, so I'm part of the fund as well. And then, so that'll be about like $1 million, 1.2 of the equity. And then we'll move in this one, which is about 1.3 million of equity. And put that all together, planning on like a 4 to 5 year exit. And basically it'll be a kind of like the way I've set it up, I'll have to get your feedback. Again, I get a different opinion everyone you talk to, but I'm doing like a 12% return. So that's broken up with 6% that's paid quarterly from the cash flow. So there's more cash flow than 6%. But what I said is rather than having like the GP fee and all the management fee, all the different acquisition fees, very simple. Cause I'm really trying to pitch this to oil and gas guys that I've worked with that I just got cash sitting around and not doing anything with it. Say, hey, 6% quarterly. And then the other 6% is going to come at the disposition. So in 4 to 5 years, when we sell it, we're going to pay down the mortgages, like some forced appreciation, just regular appreciation. And then at that point, the first 6%, well, they'll get caught up with basically that 6% that was accruing. So they'll get caught up first, and then I'm able to take everything after that. So they'll be made whole on 12% plus their money back, and then I'll be able to keep the upside.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Man, the thing I've seen is it's like, man, you can structure deals however you want, man. It's like structure them however you want, and then I was in a group to figure out how to do multifamily. It wasn't like syndications. You basically had you needed a couple of money partners to take them down. But it's just like anything else, you're marketing to your investors. So what are your investors going to be looking for that they're going to want, So that's really how you should probably structure them,
Yeah.
So.
And that's the dilemma, man. I was even having lunch with a guy today that he's a oil and gas banker. That's funny. He's actually Case Keenum's brother-in-law. So he invests with Case, and they're doing a lot of deals, and he was looking at it. And obviously this guy's puts oil and gas deals together every day, knows how the equity and the debt and all that works, and knows structure or whatever. So I'm interested in deals, not that one, just because I've got a capped upside versus talking to an oil and gas guy that versus I'm giving him something stable. But I don't know. But the problem is, like, I feel like I'm going to have a mix of those people. You know what I mean? Like, I've also got some more sophisticated guys that have deeper pockets and want to kind of like the system and the assets we're able to take down. But yeah, I don't know, man. Can't. I think I'm going to go with the aggressive one. This one I feel like is more aggressive because I keep the upside.
Yeah. Or you do that on your first one, so you got some cash to do some stuff with, and then on the next one you switch it up.
That's what I think. I think I drove my securities attorney nuts because, like, I was just talking through scenarios and just trying to, and it's so hard because, like you said, you can structure it however you want. You're getting feedback from all these different places, just trying to understand it. And then I'm trying to foresee, like, what are they going to want? Like you said, what is my investor going to want and be appetizing? And yeah, anyway, so we went back and forth quite a bit.
Price on the one you're buying now, you said it's 36 units, 63?
63 units. I'm under contract at 3.2 million.
What do you got to put down? You got to put 20% down, or?
Yeah, 25. And I'm trying to build in the rehab. I've got it penciled at like a 3 point, let's see, it was going to be 200,000 rehab. I was actually going to try to pay my acquisitions company on the front end to where I could get kind of like a wholesale fee to where I'd pay myself a little bit at the beginning and then obviously pay myself at the end. So let's just say 3.6 million purchase price with the rehab.
So you need like 3 million.
75% of that.
Oh, you said 3.6, so you need $1 million to put down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly.
That's cool.
Yeah. So put down.
Yeah, I think the guy I was training with, he usually did like I think it was a 3 to 6% acquisition fee, I think is what he charged. Or was it 1 to 3? I can't remember if it was 3 to 6 or 1 to 3. It's one of those ways. I can't remember what his fee was.
But yeah, so putting that together, so it's exciting, but also, yeah.
Are y'all in Wyoming?
No, even though, yeah, I don't have the W-2 here anymore, but
Are you still in that house? That one you were buying back then? That big one you were buying, you were going to have to rehab?
Oh, wait. Well, okay, we had the big one in South Lake for a while up in Dallas-Fort Worth, but that one I didn't have to rehab. But yeah, but there was like a single. I still have this Airbnb one across the street.
It's across the street.
We renovated.
That's funny.
We came here. We were renting. That one I got to know the lady. The lady passed away. I got to know her relatives. Made an offer. They turned it away. But then they listed right when COVID hit, or they listed in like February or January. House sat. Nobody could do showings. And it was that one like little lull of the market, and then it was like, we made an offer then. And yeah, we got it for a really good price. And so anyway, I bought that with my primary loan because I didn't have one at the time. We were thinking moving into it. And then I convinced my landlord here to seller finance this one. So we ended up, and then I bought him out about a year ago. So we ended up with two. So that one's like 2.75%, 30 years. It's like, so I'm like $3,000. It's a really nice neighborhood for the schools. So I'm like $3,100 a month. And I'm Airbnb with, that's like taxes, insurance, and everything. And then I've been Airbnb in it, and man, I'm getting like $6,000 a month Airbnb, and I'm finding a lot of like long-term people
like want to rent it like long-term, like 3 months or something, 4 months.
Yeah, like it's all these people that are tearing down their property, like they're tearing down their house, build something huge and new, and they need somewhere to stay, and there's just not many. There's no Airbnb. There's not much inventory, so they'll move in that one for 4 months or 12 months. 6 months. Those are the best ones. And then I can kind of Airbnb it in the middle. But at the same time, I got a bunch of equity in it, and I'm tempted to just sell it and reinvest it too.
It's always the dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah. Part of this one mastermind, he calls it the dance. He's like, it's always the dance as a buy and hold guy because it's always a liquidity thing.
That's why I sold all my stuff during COVID or whatever, because I was like, man, I don't know what the hell's going to happen here. And then now I'm sitting back. I'm like, man, I should have just kept those, It's crazy.
What'd you do with your equity in it? Did you put it in there? Where'd you move it?
We just held on to it. So we just held on to it. And then, man, I did I bought like a whole life policy and did some of that stuff with it. And I didn't do much with it. We just kind of chilled out. I had a good time during COVID. Like I just kind of chilled out a little bit, So I was like, man, I'm just going to chill and hang with the fam and do that thing. So
sounds like you're going hard again though.
I am, man. The only thing is I'm not buying single family properties anymore. I'm like, I got to start on the multifamily train, So I've been looking at, lately I've been just watching a lot of stuff people are buying multifamilies with seller financing. So I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out where can I find these seller finance multifamily properties at. So,
you know what? Yeah. And well, how much do you follow like Pace Morby and watch his stuff?
That's literally why this deal told you I'm about to do is like, because I would never do seller finance in the past. And then I started listening to Pace Morby and I was like, damn, this dude, I'm like, I could literally do that every freaking day. I'm like, I just never had the the talk track for it or knew. And there's an attorney here that I've got to set up a meeting with him to go talk to him. But as soon as I get this relationship with this attorney, it's like, man, it's going to be pretty wild because there's a lot of houses on the market right now people can't sell, even on the MLS right now. Like nice houses, they sell all day, right? You got a nice house priced right, they sell it, but people aren't buying like houses that need to be fixed up now. And, they're not going for crazy prices anymore. So a lot of them are sitting on the market for a while. So there's like opportunities for those seller financing options, which is basically what happened with this guy. So it's wild.
And you were just thinking, you hadn't thought like, hey, how do I present this? When you say talking track, like, how do I present this?
Yeah, I literally watched a video the other day because I just didn't know how to, I never had any coaching on it, and nobody really does seller financing here that I know, or at least that I know intimately. And man, he's told this story about how he sold a truck or a Jeep or something like that in seller financing. He was talking to the seller and just showed them how he could like pay him more, how he like made more money on this truck rather than just selling it. And yeah, it was awesome. So I was like, man, you just got to find the right person. And
was it Pace that told the story?
Yeah, it's Pace Morby, yeah.
Yeah. So I joined their program, and it's actually deep, and I've joined several of them now, but that's been by far the best investment. It was like $8,000 or something. Actually, you could split it with a business partner, but it's like overload. It could be very overwhelming how much, but he puts way more in it than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah, listening to him on his free stuff, like I can just tell, he's on a different level.
He is.
I hadn't heard of. I probably just found him about 6 months ago. I kept seeing him around, and I was like, man, this dude's kind of goofy looking. Like he's kind of goofy. And then I listened to one call he had, and I was like, dang, this guy's like good. He like buys everything seller finance.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dude, it's not, but okay, I'll say this, 2 parts. It is definitely easier with those multifamily ones because you get a more sophisticated owner who can actually wrap his head around it. That's, I think, the challenge on our single family houses is it makes sense, but just getting those people to understand it is a whole nother thing. But you could definitely talk those people into, hey, yep, you know what? It is going to help me with my capital gains or whatever it might be. They're into it. But then on this apartment deal, the guy, I was pitching it hard. Like they've got a $1.7 million loan at 4.25%. I'm like, dude, let me assume that I can pay more for your property because I'm not going to have to get a loan at 7-8%. But these guys they could not get past, it was a small bank they had a relationship with, and they could not get past like doing the whole sub 2 and what if their bank, like there's like, our bank's going to know. And they were right. Like this bank like has all their financials, and they also were like investing in the reason they're doing it, they're oil and gas guys, and they had another service company they just bought. So they do all their banking with this bank. So if they sold that asset, they would know. But I'm like, well, just let me, again, from pacing them, like, let me buy 100% of your LLC that owns this property. Let me buy the shares, keep the loan the same and everything. And I couldn't walk them into it. And spent a lot of like hours with these guys kind of walking them through, but I just couldn't get them. At that size of deal, they just didn't.
I've listened to, so the thing, I'm probably about to start marketing again for some multifamily stuff, but I listened to a few people. Man, this was like a 20-year-old kid. I think he's bought 2 multifamilies, and I think they were both for like 30 units or something like that. And his whole thing is he's like, man, it's like the relationship with the people. He was like, man, the people that he got his from, he was like, they don't have to sell. Like they just wanted to help out a kid like myself. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, yep, I'm not like that. Like I'm really like a transactional dude. I don't want to know your whole story and like go to sit down at dinner with you and like do everything and then all that. Like, I'm just like, hey man, here are the numbers. If you want to get out of this situation, like I've got a way to help you. I've got a really good process. If you want to roll, let's roll. And so, but I'm like, trying to figure out, because I'm like, man, I probably need to go like take pictures of my family and like write like a little blurb up and then start sending them out to these, because I probably want to hit my buddy does mobile home parks, and they only buy from like mom and pop like owners or whatever. So I'm thinking, I'm probably going to try to start out with a multifamily, is try to find some like mom and pop owners that own like maybe like a 6-plex or an 8-plex or 12 or something like that, or like these little garden apartments, and try to build a relationship and find some older folks that still need like that monthly, or they're willing to do that monthly thing, So
that's a good point. Any areas? What areas are you going to target, you think? Texas or?
I don't know, man. Like I was thinking Texas just to start out with, but I'm still developing my strategy. Like I'm trying to, like when you said you're doing that deal in Casper, it's like a small, because I feel like people kind of stay away from like these smaller areas, but there's still some, like there was one up north. I think it was like in between Lubbock and I think it was just south of Lubbock, or either south of Lubbock or south of Amarillo, like a little small town. I'm like, man, you can still make some money there, you know, like it's, if you got like a little apartment building and, you know, it's, even though it's a small town, you know, you can still make some cash. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is rather than going to like Dallas or something like that, I want to find like some, you know, like little offshoots like in between, you know, Austin and, you know, Dallas or whatever, and try to find a spot like that.
Yep. That's my whole business model in a nutshell. It's just Wyoming's so much less competitive. Yeah. I could be doing all this in Houston, but I'd be me and 1,000 other people offering, especially when it's seller finance. Like we got to be finding
Exactly. So,
motivated people.
but yeah, man,
Good to catch up, man.
it's good. Y'all still doing the Pure Bar thing too?
Man, no, we sold it. I don't know if you knew, we had like 4 of them in San Diego at one point, which was crazy, and then COVID hit, which was a nightmare. But Midland was profitable, but basically everyone after that was tough. But I call it a good MBA that I got on running a small business. But we've sold them all. Luckily.
That's how most businesses are, man. And then y'all bought those from. Then y'all were buying the ones that were like weren't producing right or something like that. Is that what y'all's strategy was?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yep. So we bought them and started it. We were just getting to break even when COVID hit in California, and then that was just nightmare.
How did you find those? You did all those through Pure Bar, like Pure Bar or whatever. So are you ever thinking about possibly like just buying businesses?
Not. I mean, a little bit. I did. I mean, yeah, in a way, especially when they had like some of those government loans and you could assume the loans or get some of those EIDL loans. But so I was definitely looking at it. But yeah, then I was comparing it to real estate and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be. I just pretty much applied all those small business tactics of like knowing how to market, knowing how to work leads and work systems, and then apply it to real estate.
Cool. Well, sweet, man. Yeah, I got to roll out. I got to go. Andrew's got a thing, so I got to go grab the kids.
Sounds
man.
Good. All right, man. Good to catch up.
Let's stay in touch, man.
Okay, we'll see you. As you may have learned by tuning into this episode of Gregersen, the easiest way to make real estate investing hard is by going at it alone. So as you continue learning and seeking knowledge of the industry, I want to encourage you to build relationships with other professionals who are passionate about real estate. Whether that's an agent, a business owner, or a managing investor like myself, there are pros that want to see you succeed and are willing to help you by sharing their experience. You can always reach me by visiting CaseyGregersen.com and scheduling a call. I look forward to connecting with you and continuing to share my experience with you here on Gregersen's Mobile. Until next time, I'm Casey Gregersen. Thanks for tuning in.